Welcome to the Cricket Aid podcast. We've been broadcasting for about 7 hours. My daughter is wearing a cape playing basketball outside my office. Rob Barron is here, desperately waiting to hear whether he's going to pick up Suryakumar Yadav's Player of the Match award. Any news, Rob?
No, he couldn't have done much more, could he? 68 red off 30.
He gave it a good go. Mumbai have ended up winning that game quite easily. There's a couple of things to talk about here. What's the thing that you thought about the most? I know we can over-index on the fact that CSK didn't use their attacking bowlers towards the end, but all things considered, the game was probably done before then.
Chennai are a very limited team, and they did okay with the bat in the end. Matre was the big plus for them today. If there is a big plus for Chennai, he was the big plus. I thought he was really good. Dubé got back into form a bit, but a strike, for a guy of his six hitting ability, to waste 18 balls doing nothing before he then catches fire, he ends up with a strike rate of 156. Now, when you've got Sky getting a strike rate of 226 for the opposition, if your best bat, the guy that does the best for you, has a strike rate of 156, you can't win the matches, Jarrod. You can't.
It's interesting, isn't it?
They've got two. Today.
Yeah, they've got two younger batters at the top. They've got Sheikh Rashid and they've got Ayush Matra. And, you look at both of them. Sheikh Rashid, I think he's just 20. Obviously, Matra is a little bit younger than that as well. Between them, they've made 50 off 35 balls. But when it comes down to it, that's a win when you're thinking that they've got two infants there. But the losses they really had was Rachin Ravindra being 5 off 9 and then Dubé's slow start. And they were just so far behind for so long. I thought for a little period, Mumbai bowled really well. But after a while, I wasn't even sure Mumbai were bowling brilliantly at that stage. But Chennai could just never get themselves back in. They did do well, though, to end up with 176 because we had a commenter saying that 170 was the top score, and I think neither of you or I really argued with that person at the time.
Nope, it's just the Wankhede being that one for if you're set, you can smack bad pace at the end, and Bolt is pretty bad at bowling at the death. We did call it out on the broadcast, but Bolt is pretty bad at the death. He got hoofed again, but Bumrah's so good that even if you've got somebody goes for 14, you give the ball to Bumrah and he goes for 8, and net you're back to level. Yeah. Mumbai they might be overrated, certainly by the market, and they might not perform as well as they should do. They finished bottom 2 of the last 4 IPLs with all the talent that they've got, but they can throw the ball to Bumrah a lot, and they've got bats like Sky, who when he's on is utterly amazing. Like, you can't catch up with Sky and Chennai don't have anyone that can do that with the bat. None of them can do that. Which is really bad. And then they don't have Bumrah with the ball either. And you'd have thought today that Noor and Patharana might be the guys, and they didn't bowl those guys until they'd already lost. So they ask so many questions more than they answer, Chennai. And this feels like, I said it last time we spoke on a Sunday, it feels like Chennai are kind of throwing the towel in for the season, and they're just going to run through as many kids as they can at the top of the order and see which ones stick. Because Rashid doesn't look like the answer to me. He looks like a strike rate, his career strike rate's 120 something. And they don't need another one of those in the top 3 when you've got Conway and out of form Ravindra. Like I say, Matre, huge plus, batted really well, looked loads of fun, and he fielded brilliantly too. So maybe there's something with him, but I don't think we see much more in the W column from Chennai this season.
No, I actually don't think we should. I think this is it. Me and Robbie Utapa talked last week. We would both have already started the rebuild now. This is when you start the rebuild. I like that they have 2 kids in the top 3. I think we have to start seeing more young bowlers coming through as well. Patharana's great. I'm not sure they need Patharana to bowl for them again this year, right? Even someone like Vijay Shankar, unless you're positive, him and Jamie Overton, I don't know if we need to see much more of them. You could even go as far as Dhoni. They probably won't move Dhoni on, and it would be good for the bunch of the kids to play with Dhoni, so they have someone who's very good to be available with him there. But essentially, that's the situation I want to be in. I want to be in that full rebuild. There's some good pieces here, right? Like, let's forget about Rashid and Matra because they're way too young, and we've only seen a couple of innings of each of them. You still have Shivam Dubé, right? You have Noor Ahmed, you have Khalil Ahmed, you have Patharana. There's some good pieces there. I want to know if there's anything else on their roster that is worth bringing in now. That's my big question for them for the rest of the year.
Interesting. I've got concerns about Patharana, by the way, because he has
So do I.
changed his action, and it used to be numbers wise, you could rule out a 6 when Patharana was bowling because of his angle and his release point. Nobody could get him away for 6. He was like 1-6 in every 50 balls or something. Watch him today. When set bats like Sky, obviously Sky's one of the most talented bats ever, but when set bats like him are facing Patharana, they can send him into the second tier now. And that was impossible 2 years ago. So what's happened to him? So I'm not sure you can put the farm on Patharana. Patharana's young, but he's definitely got a lot worse this year than he was last year.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I mean, you're right. Everything you've just said is right, and I agree with. But if I'm looking at Patharana, what I'm really looking at is I don't need to learn any more about him this year anyway. And if he has been injured, that's why he's changed his action. Unless they're not sure about him.
Jarrod. He's got to change it back. He's 21.
He might not be able to.
But he's also been mega injured as a 21-year-old for 3 years in a row. So that's the difficult bit. Who else have we got here? Like Noor, great. Like you want Noor. Noor's 19, remember?
Gaikwad.
Noor is a great guy to have in yours. And Gaikwad is a huge out for people. I think what they should do, this team, is find a way to get Sam Curran in and give him a proper role and go, you're our number 4 and death bowler or something. Give Sam Curran a job, because they spent some cash on him and he hasn't done anything. He had a go, didn't he? He hasn't done anything. I think you've got to find a way of getting him in your team for the rest of this season. But I think they've got a lot of either really old players who have got to be on the way out soon, or guys that just are uninspiring. Like there's a lot of cricketers that are like, you want the guy that can do the 50 off 14 occasionally. And they don't seem to have anyone like that. You don't look down the order and go, oh, look, we've got Overton coming in a minute. Like, there's nothing exciting about this team, is there?
It's not really a Stephen Fleming thing, though, is it? Those kinds of cricketers. It's not really how he thinks about it and everything else. Anyway, we'll talk about
Chennai. You're thinking now, Jarrod.
I try to. Mumbai. Mumbai now 4-4. This was a really easy run for them. I think I might have said that on when I was doing my power rankings the other day. I thought this was a really easy period for them of cricket coming up. And so they played, where are we? So they played Sunrisers last game, CSK. They've got Sunrisers again. So they have a chance of being above 50% by the time they play Lucknow, right? And the following game is against Rajasthan, right? The end of their year gets a bit trickier because they've got Gujarat, Punjab, and Delhi, right? But if they win 2 of the next 3 games, which is very winnable just based on how they're playing at the moment, if they win 2 of the next 3 games, they will be at 6-5. And if they somehow manage to beat Lucknow as well, we're talking about them at 7-4. At 7-4, that's a very good position to be in. 6-5, you need to play very good at the end of the year.
Right. And they're probably playing SRH at the right time, aren't they? Who look out of sorts. I mean, I still don't know how they batted all those overs without scoring a boundary the other day with Klassen in. Good time to play them. Mumbai have the ability, and also they've got loads of previous of putting together runs. Like they're often crap at the start of the IPL. Even when they've won it, they've been crap at the start of the IPL. So yeah, if you're in the Mumbai camp now, 4-4 with a decent positive net run rate with the 3 games to come, as you've identified, they're in okay shape. They're all right. As a Mumbai fan, you're not overly upset with how it's started. And
I want to compare that to
the other teams.
Kolkata. Yeah, so if you look at Kolkata, so these are the 2 teams I think can go on a run. Right. Mumbai and Kolkata are the 2 teams out of the top 5 that can go on a run. Kolkata's lineup, Gujarat, Punjab, and Delhi in the next 3 games. They then have 3 very winnable games after that. But if they lose 2 of the next 3 games, they're going to be, 4-6, and they're almost done. Right. And so you're in a situation at that point where it's almost done for your season in that. So Mumbai Indians, I think, they're 1 win up on Kolkata, but they're actually a lot more up on them because of the way that these games have come out. Because for Kolkata, they're going to have to play really good cricket against really good sides, and they might still lose just because the other teams are good. And then we're in that situation. So even though it's not far away on percentage points or anything, when you look at those two teams, I actually think Mumbai's a long way in front of Kolkata at the moment. And one of the reasons I asked that is just because they're the two teams I think can go on a run. The other one is consider does Rob not believe KKR can finish top 4? So last year you hated them all year and you got
Correct.
them a title. Where do you are you loving them? Are you mediocre on them? Are they mid?
No, I think the openers aren't good enough. So last year they had Salt, they don't have Salt anymore, and they had a version of Narayan that was impossible. Like you can't plug that machine in and it plays that tune ever again. It just happened last year that he had a worldie. And now they don't have that. And with Rahane at 3, as much as I love Rahane and I think he's doing great for them, with Russell looking bad this season and proper bad as well, I don't see how that team gets themselves out of it. They also, there's only so much you can do with 2 really good spinners. You need, like, they've got a containing spinner and an amazing wicket-taking spinner, but they don't really have anything else. So I don't see, with the batting misfiring, like Rinku looks okay, but he's not batting that much. I don't see how they can overhaul teams ahead of them. No, I don't see how it happens. I have a feeling, because Pooran keeps missing balls that are on his leg stump and getting LBW to them, I have a feeling that Lucknow fall off a cliff. I think they're the ones that create a gap for someone to run into. But at the moment, Mumbai, I think, are near enough. They're not certainties, but I think they're a very short price to get in the playoffs now, Mumbai. I think they can easily get in the playoffs. Punjab, they're a team that could suddenly implode because of how they're set up. They could. Bangalore and Gujarat are the best set teams for the playoffs, right? I think, because they're they don't look like teams that are suddenly going to lose 4 out of 4 from nowhere. And SRH can, Punjab definitely can, Lucknow definitely can, and KKR definitely can. They're teams that could go on losing runs. Chennai can't get anywhere now after that. Another abject effort today. I just don't see how they get anywhere.
I mean, I think they were already done before today. Sunrisers can go on a run. I just don't know if they can win 6-1 from here, right? Like they need to, do so much to be able to win from there. I just can't see. I think it's actually because Lucknow and Punjab are, and it might be Kolkata who just falls apart, but I just think the teams above Sunrisers are so much more likely to win a higher percentage of games from here on in. Siddharth says, is CSK as reliant on Gaikwad as Gujarat is on Gill? No, because the top 3 of Gujarat is really, really solid. And if Gill wasn't playing, you would still have Sudarshan and Butler. Whereas we've seen now that, like, without Gaikwad, that top 3 just doesn't look like anything at all. So no, I don't think that's really ideal from that one. Anyway, anything else to add to our 93 hours of broadcasting today, Roberto Barron? And Rohit has won player of the match.
Disgraceful. Disgraceful. 76 off 45 is better than 68 off 30, just so we all know.
But didn't one of his Rohit set the game up for Sky?
Was dived onto the rope by Khalil. So Khalil's fault. Everything is Khalil's fault. Rubbish way to end 38 hours of consecutive broadcasting, but it's been emotional, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, it has been emotional. We will see you next time. Also, I should say that some of my friends were voting on player of the match today, and I did send them text messages beforehand. Rob's going to have to decide what I said and whether it affected those people or not. Anyway, thank you very much to everyone who's listened to us on the podcast today or anything else. Subscribe to Cricket 8. We're going to endeavor to do a watch along every Sunday, but if you and all your friends are following, we might be able to do more of them as well. So thank you very much, and we will see you again next time here on Cricket. Remember to support us by subscribing and sharing, but also signing up at cricket8.com, where live scorecards cover 8,000 matches a year with advanced visual details that tell you who is actually in front in the game.